Over the last few weeks on the UNL Beef website, UNL Extension educator Lindsay Chichester has been explaining the meanings of meat labeling terms. Lindsay says while the labels can sometimes be confusing or overwhelming, meat is a good nutrient-dense food with good sources of protein, zinc, B vitamins, and iron. We talked with Lindsay earlier this week to discuss some of the differences behind specific terms on packaging, starting in grain-fed beef, which would cover the majority of cattle production in the U.S.
Grain-fed or conventionally fed or conventionally produced is how we think of it, and it just means that animals received grain for the last part of its life. It's on a ration that lets it perform to its optimal best.
And on the other side of that, grass-fed would mean what?
Grass-fed is the animal only eats grasses and forages for its life. It cannot receive any grains or grain byproducts of any sort.
Does the meat coming from grain-fed and grass-fed look any different? Are there different nutritional qualities to it?
Grass-fed, it tends to be a little bit darker, so sometimes consumers can be turned off by that. Grass-fed, they can also claim some different labeling terms, such as it can be lower or less fat. They can also say that it's higher in omega-3s and then as well as CLA, which is conjugated linolenic acid. Unfortunately, grass-fed is not perceived by consumers, and research has proven that people prefer the taste of grain-fed. It's usually tender, flavorful, more juicy.
Now, grass-fed is not necessarily organic, as you write. What is organic? What would it take to qualify as organic?
Okay, as organic, it would have to be fed something that's certified organic. So by being certified organic, it cannot be, it can't have any sewages or sludge pumped onto it, and no synthetic fertilizers, nothing that produces a biotech or genetically altered crop. And that has to be within 3 years, so on a 3-year time cycle.
Does it matter in the way the meat is processed?
When it's all processed, it's called all natural. So all natural doesn't account for how the animal or what the animal was fed in its life. It's what happens to the meat product. So nothing can be added to the meat, such as colorants, herbs, seasonings, marinades, anything like that. The product can't be changed from its natural form.
Are there major differences then between all natural and naturally raised?
Naturally raised is another, it's probably most similar to organic in that it's, the animal can receive no antibiotics, no hormones, and it is governed by a USDA body similar to the National Organic Program, where all natural just accounts for the meat in its final form.
What is no added hormones, and can it be confused with anything else?
No added hormones just means that the animal typically has not received any hormones throughout, additional hormones in its life. So the thing that most people get confused is every living being produces hormones naturally. So the label cannot say hormone free. That's kind of a misnomer, but it can say no added hormones. So no additional or synthetic hormones have been given to that animal.
And no antibiotics would mean none through the course of its life?
Right. And if they're on a no antibiotic label or the all natural program, or naturally raised, or the organic label, and that animal does need to receive antibiotics, then it would be taken out of the program.
Where can people go for more information to learn more about these labelings before they go into the grocery store?
We've done a series on the UNL Beef Watch electronic newsletter on these, and then I also have a blog that they can go to, and that's agriculturalwithdrlindsay.com.
Lindsay's 3-part series on meat labeling can be found on the Beef website. We'll also link to the articles on the Market Journal homepage.